Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can determine the mode using Python. Specifically I'm using JupyterLab and Python 3. Now the mode is a measure of central tendency, and in this case it's the only one that I'm aware of for nominal data, so if you have categories and no logical order in them. It's actually simply put the most common value obtained in a set of observations. So if one of those has the highest frequency, it will be the model category. If there are two or more categories with the same highest frequency, then we would say that both are the mode, and we call it bimodal, or trimodal if you have three, etc., or sometimes multimodal. There's some debate if everything has the same frequencies. There are a few different options. You can read those here. My personal preference is if everything has the same frequency, to say that there is no mode, because there's a none that is higher than any others. But like I said, there are some others who have different opinions on this. To show you how you can do this with with Python, I'll be needing some example data which I've stored in a CSV file, and I'm going to read that using pandas as a data frame. So I'll need to import my pandas. You first need to install pandas, then you can import it. Installing it is usually done with pip install pandas, I think, but a quick Google search shouldn't be too hard. I load my data and store it under my df, and I get a small warning because it's a huge file, and I want to go and find the mode of this field, the marital. These are only the top 5 rows starting at 0. So I'm just going to select it as my field, and I want to actually find the mode for that. Now I'll be needing the unique categories and the respected counts. I actually don't need NumPy for that, but it doesn't hurt to actually have it in there. So I'm just going to import NumPy, but actually it's not needed for the frequencies. So the mode, we can actually already determine 972 is clearly the highest frequency, so married should be the mode. Now we can simply say, well, what's the maximum? And that's 972, but we want that it reports not 972, that's the highest frequency. We want the category that belongs to. That's where NumPy really comes in, because it has a option of argmax, argument maximum, and that's actually an index, and then we can use that index, so it's the 0th value, and with my indexes I can then actually simply say look that up, and it shows indeed married. This seems to work, but if we had 2 or more values being the mode, it becomes a little bit tricky. Let's see how it works there. So here I have some data, and if you look at that, I'm going to store it as a pandas data frame. As you can see, I have 2 5s and 2 8s, so it should return to me 5 and 8. So let's see if that's going to happen. So first off, the same as we did before, and it only returning the 5. So I think it's returning always the smallest of the two. So, and it's not saying anything about that there's actually another one, the 8, that also has a frequency of 2. Now, similar problems arise with Skippy, that actually has, or SciPy, I don't know, that has a stats module and also a mode in there, and Python's own library, statistics. And let's see how they do that. So if I do SciPy, I get, well, again, only the 5. I also nicely get the count now, but that's not working. And if I use Python statistics, I also only get 5, but Python also has an option for multi-mode. And let's see what that then does. And that actually does return the 5 and the 8. It also works the multi-mode if you only have 1, so it keeps on returning nicely the married. So that's very nice. But how does it work if all frequencies are equal? So that multi-mode was my best guess. And now it simply returns 2, 3, and 5, even though it should, in my opinion, say that there is no mode. And if I only have 2, 3, and 5, so everything just once, again, it just returns all of them. Well, we can actually work around this, but we have to do a little bit of programming ourselves. So here I made a little function for myself um, that actually stores, that takes a field as input. It then gets the counts, the maximum count, and then for the modes, it's simply going over each one to check if it's actually part of the mode. But then it also checks if the number of modes is the same as the number of counts. Because if that's true, then we can say that there is no mode. So let's have a look if that's actually working now. And let's have a look there. And indeed, it nicely returns now 5 and 8 for my bimodal data, for my multimodal data. And if I would feed this, for example, this one, it should say that there is no mode. Let's first see also if it actually still runs on this. No, it seems to work as well. It returns the Mary type. And what would happen if we quickly make something? Sorry, I forgot to make that. Let's add in a few cells. Let's quickly copy the code for my test. Test by model. And here it is, my test, this one. And let's see, let's put that here. And let's say that we want here to have also a 2 and here also a 7. And let's run this one then again. And hopefully it then tells me indeed that there is no mode. So you see that all of them actually work. Well, that was a short video on the mode. Hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.